this before. You have not. Don't sit there and lecture me about being passionate about people who break the law. I've done it. You have not.
Congressman, I think you took that a little more personally than intended.
Okay. Did you see what just happened there? The Fox host, Will Cain, was trying to lecture Democratic Congressmember Glen Ivey about law and order. And he was trying to wag his finger at Congressmember Ivey as being weak on immigration and not knowing the law. Will Cain, wasn't he like a sports announcer, Will Cain or something? I don't even know what he's doing, pretending to be a news host right now on Fox, just cosplaying Tucker Carlson and Jesse Waters. So Congressmember Ivey has one of the most distinguished legal backgrounds of any American right now. He went to Harvard Law. After going to Harvard Law in the late 80s, he worked at the United States Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C. as an assistant United States attorney under Eric Holder, who would go on, Eric Holder, to become the Attorney General. Then you have Congressmember Ivey. Before becoming a Congressmember in 2023, he was a professor at Harvard Law. He was also the top state prosecutor in Maryland for Prince George's County. He's prosecuted gang members. He's prosecuted immigrants who are gang members. He's prosecuted Tren de Aragua, and he knows how the law is supposed to work. So the idea that a Fox host, Will Cain, cosplaying Perry Mason? What the hell was that, Will Cain? I just want to show you how Democratic Congressmember Ivey schools Will Cain on the law. So let me show you the longer clip of what I showed at the outset. Let's play it.
To be dispassionate. I want to see the same passion from you on those issues of the crimes of illegal immigrants as you do for this error when it comes to illegal immigrants. That's what I hope for you, Congressman.
I prosecuted the crimes of illegal immigrants for 8 years. I locked up more people in my day than you ever did. So don't lecture me about not being passionate about
today you write the laws.
Immigrants to do something wrong.
No.
I've done it. You haven't. Back up.
Today, Congressman, you write the laws. Congressman, today you don't prosecute the laws. You write the laws.
In fact, I did a joint prosecution with Rod Rosenstein of MS-13 when he was the U.S. attorney and I was the state's attorney. I've done this before. You have not. Don't sit there and lecture me about being passionate about people who break the law. I've done it. You have not.
Congressman, I think you took that a little more personally than intended, but I think that what I'm talking about is not your past, but your present, where we apply passions today in our current jobs, not our former jobs. Congressman, I have to leave it here. I've gone way over time, and I'm always willing to do so. I appreciate the back and forth. You're welcome here anytime. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, one of the things that they're talking about in that discussion is the fact that the Trump regime is kidnapping migrants, not giving them due process, sending them to El Salvador concentration camps, either under the Alien Enemies Act, where Donald Trump claims there's a war against Venezuela, so he's invoking War Powers Act. There's an injunction that was issued by a Washington, D.C. federal judge, Judge Boasberg, stopping Donald Trump from engaging in these kidnappings and sending people to the migrants to these concentration camps. But Donald Trump is now saying, well, I'm doing it outside of the Alien Enemies Act. In any event, there's going to be a hearing on Thursday to determine if Donald Trump and his regime should be held in contempt for violating Judge Boasberg's order. But one of the most recent examples is this guy, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He's a guy who was living in Maryland, a migrant who an immigration court in 2019, when Donald Trump was in office, basically said that this individual should not be sent to El Salvador. There was an informant who said that Kilmar Abrego Garcia was gang affiliated. Garcia denied it. He was working in Maryland. He was released by the first Trump administration immigration judge. He's been checking in with ICE. So if there was going to be a question about deportation, there was a specific order saying that you can't deport this guy to El Salvador. But the Trump regime deported him to El Salvador anyway. By the way, in violation of what the Trump immigration judge from 2019 said. Anyway, that's the background of what they're talking about and all these other kidnapping of migrants. There was a gay hairdresser who had a mom and dad tattoo. There was a soccer coach with the Real Madrid tattoo. Another individual who had a autism awareness tattoo. So just want to give you the background of what was being, discussed here, were these kidnappings and sending people to El Salvador without due process. Here's another clip where Tim Kaine says, look, These individuals had their day in court. And they had their day in court, and that's why they got sent to El Salvador, to which Congressmember Ivey's like, they did not have their day in court. Donald Trump just said, basically pick them up, and they kidnapped them and sent them without their day in court. That's the issue. Play this clip.
Hey, if those facts are correct, present them in court. Give a judge a chance to evaluate them. Saying it at a press conference is not the same thing as saying it in court under oath. Bring him back. Again, let's do it the right way. We have a legal system that works very, very well on these kinds of issues. When we get them to court, let's use it.
And again, I think he has had his day in court. He has had due process. The question is not whether or not an error was made, but whether or not the error has to be rectified by bringing him back to the United States. By the way, I appreciate what you said about.
He did not have a day in court for what the United States just did. That's why
he's an illegal immigrant. Congressman, he's an illegal immigrant. That in and of itself.
What they said is we don't have jurisdiction over it anymore. Not that he had due process.
Yeah, because he's in El Salvador.
Yes. El Salvador.
Yes, because he's in El Salvador. Congressman, he's an illegal immigrant. That in and of itself is a deportable crime in my book, and I think in many Americans' book. But I like what you said about the law being dispassionate. I do.
How about the judge he appeared before? What about his book? I appreciate what you say, but you don't have a robe or a gavel. You're not a judge. These things should be decided in court. When they picked him up in 2025, give the judge from 2019 a chance to review it and say, okay, you should send him out or not.
I would love to talk to that judge.
Immigration judge. But use the court process that we have. It's not too much to ask that well, let me say
two final things. I would love to talk to that.
And then Will Cain, the Fox host, like, well, I see a disconnect here. I see a disconnect. Watch this interaction as Congressmember Ivey, again, schools Will Cain. Play this clip.
Return to the United States. And I didn't see that same passion. I know you didn't go to the joint session of Congress, but your colleagues didn't stand up when the president honored Jocelyn Nungaray. So I see a disconnect on this passion. Passion for an illegal immigrant. Yes, an illegal immigrant deported. No sense of quantity of passion for the victims of illegal immigrants here in the United States.
How about this? The law is supposed to be dispassionate. That's why we have independent judges make these decisions based on the evidence and the law that's presented to them. That was circumvented in this case. So, I mean, I guess we can go through hypotheticals about what if he'd been sent here or there. But as you said, the government admitted they did it incorrectly. So just bring him back. And they can bring him back.
Well, I'm not sure. Just because it was executed incorrectly, I don't think just because it was executed incorrectly, the logical conclusion is to bring him back to the United States. He could be deported to any number of countries, as I point out. He could be deported from the United States, which I believe is justice.
An American judge has to make that determination, right? So bring him back. They've admitted they did it incorrectly. They admitted they made a mistake. Bring him back. If what you're saying is correct, present it in court and move forward. But I'll note that the brief that I just read that the government filed doesn't make any of those arguments that you just made. So based on the law, I'm not sure that what you're saying is correct. And I'm not sure that the decision that the judge would make is what you think it would be. Let's just bring it back and find out.
Also yesterday on Fox, you had Peter Doocy going on air, and Peter Doocy saying that he has no clue as of yesterday what the tariff situation was going to be. Just listen to how Doocy describes it. Let's play it.
Tomorrow. There's still time for him to change his mind, but we are told he has settled on one of two possibilities, either a 20% flat tariff or adjustable tariffs where we are, the United States is implementing something on another country based on what their tariff is on us.
Then Fox state regime media had to bring on, after Will Cain got humiliated, they had to bring on Stephen Miller on Jesse Waters. And Jesse Waters was trying to show Will Cain how it's done. And he's like, look, let's just bring on one of the top propagandists, literally one of the most dangerous individuals from the Trump regime, Stephen Miller. And then Stephen Miller basically is like, can you believe that these migrants think that that they get to go in front of courts? These people think that they get the court system. Here, play this clip.
In this country. And now they have the temerity to say that every single invader that Joe Biden let in should get their own individual judicial trial before they're deported, one at a time. Each one gets $1 million trial in front of a communist judge to decide whether or not we can send them home. How about hell no? How about we pick them up and we get them out of this country so they can't hurt anyone else?
As MeidasTouch explains, so we live in an America now where Republicans have emboldened themselves just to speak in public as if they're Nazis. I mean, it's just going out and saying that there shouldn't be courts, there shouldn't be laws. I mean, we are a system of law and order. When you say law and order, there's the law, and the order part is due process. And if someone engaged in bad behavior, they should be punished. They should go to jail. They can be deported. There's processes for this. But you don't just, without process, send people to El Salvador prisons or concentration camps for them never to be heard again. By the way, in the Trump paperwork, in the Trump DOJ's own paperwork, they say that this was an error to send this guy to El Salvador, that he shouldn't have been sent there. Then you have Jesse Waters calling the gay makeup artist Tren de Aragua and just saying it like in a really offensive way as well. Play this clip.
Mr. Jose Romero was actually more of a makeup artist than a barber. As usual, Jessica was a little off. Here's Jose posing with makeup brushes. Would I let this guy do my makeup? No, because here's this guy when he was arrested. He's Tren de Aragua. Again, a Latin gang that Trump designated as a terrorist organization. When Jose rolls up his sleeves, he's got double crown tattoos on his wrists, a key indicator of gang membership. Homeland Security told Primetime, quote, DHS intelligence assessments determined he is a member of the vicious gang Tren de Aragua. DHS intelligence goes beyond a single tattoo, and we're confident in our findings. Do you trust Homeland Security intelligence agents who do this for a living, or Jessica Tarloff, who I love, but probably just read about this guy, Jose, in Time magazine?
And then Jesse Waters making this statement about O.J. Simpson. I don't even know what they're even talking about here. Play this clip.
And he's not from Maryland. He's from El Salvador. It's like if I snuck south of the border and got arrested in Mexico City on gang charges, would Democrats call me a Mexico City dad? And just because you have a kid doesn't make you innocent. OJ had kids. Did Democrats call him a California dad? Actually, OJ was innocent, so maybe they did. You have foreign terrorists telling judges, my life's in danger if you deport me. Well, our lives are in danger if we don't deport you. And if you're a terrorist, life's dangerous wherever.
And then finally, Fox has on Eric Trump, who I only want to play like 7 seconds, like 10 seconds of this. It's ridiculous. Where he starts, hey, everybody, I'm Eric Trump, and you want to buy my Bitcoin? I'm selling new Bitcoins, everybody. It's going to be super cool, and I have a great Bitcoin. Here, play this clip.
Well, we just launched a stable coin. On the other side, American Bitcoin. I think it's going to be one of the great companies out there. So I truly believe in it, and really.
Yo, that's just so strange. It's so strange, so grifty, so weird. Anyway, Congressmember Ivey, what a great job right there. Incredible to share that with you. Well, hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.